So we're continuing our conversation with filmmaker Andy Abrahams Wilson. Welcome back to Swirl. And we're talking about your film, Alfredo's Fire, in which a gay Italian man set himself on fire in front of the church in order to protest the Vatican's anti-gay policies. So there's a new pope in place, and a lot of people are hoping that this new pope will change or progress in the views of homosexuals in the past as far as the Catholic Church goes. What do you think?
I think he's cut out of the same cloth as the previous pope. I should say the previous popes. I don't expect much change, and the people who are most familiar with him don't necessarily expect that change, although he is presenting himself as a common person, someone who he wants to reform the church so that it's a poor church for poor people. And so there is something about that he wants to return to let's say the roots of St. Francis of compassion. And so maybe that's a good sign, or is it really that the emperor has no clothes? I don't know.
Or let's just move away from the whole, homosexual agenda, quote unquote, and focus on human beings. Maybe I'm not sure, but I hear a lot of stories in which even someone was saying because Argentina, a country where he's from, allows for same-sex marriage and civil unions, that should be considered.
Right. Well, he did fight that. He fought it tooth and nail, but then in the end he wanted a compromise so that Argentina would accept civil unions instead of same-sex marriage. So maybe that shows that he's open to compromise.
Let's talk about Italy. I mean, you lived there for a long time. You did a lot of your research on what happened to Alfredo here. What's going on with Italy and the LGBT community?
Yeah, a lot has happened since Alfredo set himself on fire. And as a matter of fact, a lot of Italians think of what Alfredo did as the Italian Stonewall, or as the beginning of the Italian Stonewall. After Alfredo set himself on fire, Italians protested against the church, against the Pope specifically. And it was the first time that ever happened, that there was a protest against the Pope.
Wow.
And many people do consider that the Italian Stonewall. And World Pride happened in the year of the Jubilee in the year 2000. That happened in Rome. Mm-hmm. And the organizers of that also did that as a response to what Alfredo did. So it has moved, and partly because of what Alfredo did, although many Italians themselves don't know that. There are presently several LGBT Congress people
mm-hmm.
In politics in Italy right now. The governor of Sicily happens to be gay.
Wow.
So that's a gigantic shift. Now, in order for him to be elected, he had to tell everybody that he was going to stop having sex if he were elected, and that
right.
he was going to wed the people, which in itself just sort of shows you that it's sort of like the don't ask, don't tell, or what the church says. We hate the sin, but we love the sinner. So as long as he doesn't engage in sex, it's okay. That's still the mentality in Italy, right. And in many other places.
Right, absolutely. I can't. I guess I would say the same thing. No, probably not.
You could
probably
say
not.
It, but it doesn't work.
Right. So with your film, and I think it has the power to really move a lot of people, and at the same time, it could cause some controversy in terms of Catholics. Have you encountered anything like that? Is anybody who's said, I don't want you to tell this story?
Look, most Catholics in the United States are much more liberal than the Catholic Church. Much more. They're supporting women in clergy, supporting gay civil rights. So I don't think that's the case. Of course, there's going to be backlash. I've gotten emails from people who say this is disgusting what we're doing, but it's a story that deserves to be told. And we're not church bashing. That was never my intention to respond to gay bashing with church
Absolutely.
bashing. And it's really just telling this one man's story, one person's individual story, which is really then becomes a universal story.
Right.
And it's not just the Catholic Church. This is religious institutions all over the world. Mm-hmm. It's the same story, that people are shaped by those teachings, whether they know it or not. They're shaped by them, and it's oppressing us, and it's killing us.
What's been the response as far as LGBTQ media? So I know The Advocate, which is huge, did a little story on it, and also Gay Voices of Huffington Post did something on it. But overall, do you feel that you could sure use a little bit more support?
Well, for a film that's not finished, I think we're getting tremendous coverage.
Right.
But we need to finish it. We have a couple months to finish. We want to premiere it actually in Italy during their Pride celebrations, which it just so happens that this year their national Pride celebration is in Palermo. So which is Alfredo's hometown. So it's perfect that we would be premiering it there.
Oh my gosh, donate now. So we need another $25,000 or so, and you've got just a week to go?
That's right. We have a week to go.
Wow. So, I don't know. Get somebody's credit card, your own preferably, I guess, and go to Andy's Kickstarter campaign, search Alfredo's Fire, and it's up there right now. So you can even click on that if you're watching us through your computer. Andy, we're running low on time, which I would love to discuss your film all night long. But as far as Alfredo's family goes, because I think you mentioned you did meet them, and now you're doing this documentary. What does it mean to them?
That's a really complicated question. There's a lot of lies. And I think at the base of this is the problem with lies. And gay people have to lie to themselves. First of all, they're lying about who they are. They're lying to themselves. We're taught to deny who we are. Then we're denying who we are to other people. So when he finally came out to his brothers, they actually caught him in the act. Oh. So he didn't have much choice. Yeah. They beat him up. And then on national TV, his brothers said, "We didn't know he was gay. If we knew he was gay, we would have tried to help him." And that was a lie. Mm-hmm. So there's very many layers here of trying to save face, of not wanting to hurt the family, and if you look at the church as sort of the macrocosm of the family, the biggest family, that's what we're doing there. We don't want to hurt our family. We don't want to hurt our father, the Pope, and if you go bigger than that, God, thinking of God,
right.
We don't want it. We want to be loved by our Father, by our God, and that was what Alfredo dealt with. Wow. And he wanted to be loved. He wanted to be seen in the image of God, and that's something that gay people can't do all over the world.
Well, you're an amazing filmmaker, and I think it's great that you picked up this story, or thank God somebody told you about it, and that you became obsessed with Alfredo. And now we're very near the finish line to get this documentary finished so the world can see it, really, and then we can remember Alfredo and what he did for gay Catholics.
Yes, and so that we can help other people all over the world. It doesn't stop with the film. We want people from all over the world to be able to have a platform for telling their stories where faith and sexuality clash.
Andy, thank you so much for joining us here at Swirl and for talking to us about your film, Alfredo's Fire, in which you will, at this moment, right this second, head to their Kickstarter campaign, search Alfredo's Fire, in which we've put up before, and it's also will be up at our website if you need the link. But donate, because they've only got 7 days left to reach another raise another $25,000. Coming up after the break, Sima, the inclusionist, does her segment live, and I have a very airy cat call. So you got to stick around to find out what that means. We're all right after the break.